What is up, you guys? Vanessa Christopher here, and I just wanted to break down intermittent fasting for you. This is one of my favorite things ever. I have been doing intermittent fasting for the last couple of years and absolutely love it, absolutely swear by it. It's really great for all different kinds of nutrition plans and diets, whatever you're following. It can fit into different lifestyles. So I wanted to break down the do's and don'ts of intermittent fasting and kind of give you guys a little sneak peek of what it does to your system, the benefits, the pros, the cons, all of that good stuff. So here are the basics of intermittent fasting. When you're intermittent fasting, you're essentially eating within an 8-hour window every single day and then fasting for 16 hours. And by fasting, I mean not eating anything. You're having 0-calorie things. You can have coffee, fluids, of course, drink lots of water, but you're completely fasted for 16 hours at least. There are different cycles of intermittent fasting. There are people that fast for 60 hours or 3 days. I'm just going to touch on the 16-8 split for intermittent fasting in this video and kind of focus on that, and then I can talk about other fasts in some other videos, so stay tuned for that. Intermittent fasting is something that you want to work into. So if you've never done fasting before, it's something that you can kind of build up over a few days, so you're not just kind of like jumping into it cold turkey, which can be tough on your system. It does take time for your body to adjust, and that goes with anything, with a new workout routine, with a new nutrition plan, with a new diet, whatever. So make sure that you give yourself some grace and stick to the plan for at least a week, if not longer, just so that you can get your body adjusted and start to feel and reap the benefits of that. Starting with intermittent fasting, start off slow. You can work into it and maybe do fast for 14 hours first and then eat in a 10-hour window and ease into that 16-8 split. Because you're still going to kind of feel hungry. You might not quite feel the benefits in the first week. You might have some headaches. It might be a little bit of a struggle, and a lot of it is mental. But if you can get past that hump, when you are fasted and your body is producing ketones in a state of ketosis, you are going to have your appetite suppressed. You are going to be sleeping better. You are going to be, you're going to have a lot more energy. You're going to have better mental clarity and mental focus. So that's just kind of like the tip of the iceberg with like how you will feel when your body starts to get into that cycle, which are all really great, really beneficial things. Because what happens with your body is when you are consuming glucose, so sugar, carbs, which could be good or bad carbs, it takes time for your body to burn through that glucose. So usually it takes between 12 to 14 hours for your body to burn through glucose, which is why the fasting period is at least 16 hours. So 12 to 14 hours of it burning through glucose, and then your body is using that as energy, it runs out. It needs something else to run off of. So that's when it naturally starts to produce ketone bodies within your system. And so your body burns ketones, it burns fat as fuel, helps keep you sustained with energy and all those benefits that I already mentioned. So that's why you really want to work up to that 16-hour window minimum, because if you're cutting yourself short and only fasting for 12 to 14 hours, you might not be getting into that state of ketosis. So make sure that you do work up to it and stick to it. Like once you get over that hump, I promise it gets better. I used to be that girl that would eat like every hour, every 2 hours. That's what I was taught. They say, gotta eat every 2 hours to boost your metabolism. And for me, I was always hungry. I was a busy person, so it was really tough for me to eat that often. And even when I was prepping for my bodybuilding competitions, like it was hard to eat all that food like constantly. It felt like I was eating all day long. So for me, it just works better with my schedule to eat bigger meals in a shorter period of time. And there are a lot of people out there that skip their breakfast anyway, right? The popular thing is you're told to eat your breakfast. It's the most important meal of the day. And I do think that fueling your body with nutritious and healthy foods is very important, but fasting has so many very important beneficial properties to it that people don't even realize. So if you can skip your breakfast and extend your fast to like 10 or 11 a.m. and then finish your dinner time 7 to 8 p.m. depending on your schedule, or you can flip that. And if you're an early riser, I used to get up at 4:30 in the morning every day. So for me, I worked out in the morning, and so I wanted to eat earlier. So I would eat earlier and then end my feeding period earlier in the evening at 4 or 5 o'clock. So you can kind of tweak it depending on what your schedule looks like, depending on what works best for you. There's always a lot of discussion on breaking your fast and what constitutes breaking your fast. So typically it's between 50 and 100 calories will break a fast. It depends on your body though. Like for me, I for sure need to stay under 50 calories. I can tell if I have any more calories than about 50 calories. I start to get hungry. My body clicks over to that feeding period. So I would recommend keeping your intake into under 50 calories. So for example, if you drink your morning coffee, you can totally have coffee while you're fasting. Coffee is zero calories, but it's always that crap that you put in your coffee, all the sugar and the creamer and all that stuff that kicks it up and breaks your fast. So I would recommend getting some heavy whipping cream, which is low in carbs and high in fat, and it's not very many calories for a splash, so you could just have a splash of that in your coffee and you would be good to go in your fasted state. And as always with anything, you guys want to make sure that you're drinking plenty of water when you're doing intermittent fasting. It's super important. It helps cleanse out your system and detox and get rid of all of the junk. It helps replenish everything. If you're really struggling with headaches, make sure that you're drinking water, add in some electrolytes, or you can add in some pink Himalayan salt, which really helps replenish that sodium in your system. And that can help with keeping you hydrated and get rid of those headaches. And I also get a lot of questions about ketones. So can you take ketones while you are intermittent fasting? And the answer is yes and no. And it depends on the formula. So if you're following the Prove It ketones, there are a couple formulas from the Prove It line that have MCT oil in it. So they're actually going to be too high of calories to have within your fast. But the max ketones, chocolate swirl ketones, all of those are low enough in calories. They're about 45 calories. So you can have those within your fast. Personally, what I do is I fast until usually 11 o'clock. And so I have my ketones towards the end of my fast. And that way I'm in a state of ketosis in the morning. And then my goal is to try and extend that state of ketosis as long as possible. So I'm going to have natural state of ketosis in the morning, and then I'm going to have my ketones, and it's going to extend that state of ketosis through the afternoon, hopefully into the early evening if I can stay on track. And that way you kind of get the best of both worlds. So your body is going to be burning fat as fuel. You're going to have that energy all day, no afternoon crash, that mental clarity. It's going to fight inflammation, help preserve muscle. So when I do my workouts midday, around when I have my ketones, it's basically my pre-workout and my recovery formula. So that's how powerful ketosis is. So I still have my ketones. I can have them within my fast, but usually I have it around when I break my fast just because I want to get the most bang for my buck. And what I love about intermittent fasting is that you can tweak it with any diet. So I do a low carb, kind of like a lazy keto almost. And it's more of a flexible diet because I still love my beer. I still love my sweets. I work at a brewery. Let's keep it real. I'm still going to drink beer because it's my job. And so I can still have those things, work in my intermittent fasting, have my ketones, roll out that state of ketosis for my entire day. So if you guys are maybe struggling with a plateau, if you've hit like a weight loss plateau and you can't, no matter what you do, no matter how hard you work out or nutrition plan you follow, you can't get through it, then intermittent fasting could really work with you. You want to like kick it up a notch, add in some ketones to that, and it's gonna blow your mind. And along with breaking plateaus, I also find that intermittent fasting and keto can really help with that stubborn belly fat. When it comes to workouts, you cannot reduce fat with workouts. You cannot. You can build muscle, but you cannot just do 100 crunches and get rid of belly fat. That's not how it works. It all boils down to diet. But intermittent fasting and keto, basically putting your body in a state of ketosis, actually can target that stubborn belly fat that seems to stick around forever. So if that's something that you struggle with, think about intermittent fasting. All right, guys, so that's all I have for you. But if you have any questions at all and want to pick my brain about intermittent fasting or ketones, I am an open book. My contact information is down below. Don't forget to hit subscribe. Boop, 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 boop. I am here to help. So just with anything, you got questions, send them my way. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video.